So we just finished Leo season, and Leo is about spending time in the sun and showing your light and having a good time, being joyous, being creative, enjoying the sunshine of the summer, which is very Leo and I love it. But now we're going into Virgo season and it's time to be a bit more practical with our time. So even if you're not a Virgo, we're all being affected by this right now. And every time it kicks me in the butt. It's a time where I get organized and I get things done. Either you go back to school or you go back to work or you decide to get a calendar, an organizer. We're really organizing our time right now when the sun is in Virgo. So, because we're in Virgo season, I want to talk about the energy of Virgo. So if your sun is in Virgo, your moon, or you're a Virgo rising, this will kind of be for you. Of course it depends. Astrology is very big. So although, let's say you're a Virgo, but let's say your moon and your rising and the rest of your chart has a lot of water, you might not feel very Virgo-ish, But typically, Virgo suns, Virgo moon, and Virgo risings will have the following vibe of what I'm going to talk about. So the basics is Virgo is an earth sign. So between earth, air, water, and fire, Virgo is earth because they are quite practical and they like to-do lists. They're very here on earth getting things done, which is the earth signs. Earth is heavy, it has weight, it's on earth. Air signs are up here, water signs are the more emotional type. Virgo's earth. Virgo is also immutable. So there's mutable, fixed, and cardinal. Mutable signs. Their energy kind of go a bit everywhere, which is very Virgo. The Virgo is a bit everywhere. It's not so much one-on-one like a cardinal sign. Mutable energy kind of goes everywhere. And because a Virgo's energy goes everywhere, that's why they need to organize. They need to really organize their energy and put things together. So the earth and they're mutable. There's a duality to astrology, either feminine or masculine. Virgo is a feminine sign because there is a softness with Virgo. They're not the most masculine, the most flashy. Even if you're male or female, doesn't matter. If you have a lot of Virgo in your chart, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising, there's a softness to Virgo. It's feminine. And lastly, each sign is ruled by a planet. In Virgo, alongside Gemini, is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the cerebral, the mental energy, and it's the planet of information. So Virgos kind of have the mercurial energy to them of organization, commerce, information, practical. So Virgos, I love Virgos. The one thing I have to say about Virgos is their softness. Almost all Virgos have an underlying softness to them, a modesty. Like Virgo is the virgin, right? They do things very properly. They're not reckless. They do things properly, organized way, and it's soft, and I love it. They're extroverted in a way, but in a soft way. Sagittariuses are extroverted in a hard way. They say hello, they're loud, they're honest, they're very open. Virgos have that extroverted openness, but it's very, very soft. It's a soft energy, which I love. I think it's great. And thank God we have Virgos because they are organized. Anything from calendars, to-do lists, organization, practicalities of life, Virgos do it. Like, I remember I was working at a job and I was working with two Virgos. It was me and two Virgos. And there was like this chart thing that we had to fill out of like numbers and stuff. And I have absolutely no Virgo in my chart. Nothing about me is Virgo. And I was like, I hate this. I don't want to fill this chart. And these two Virgos, they're like, I'm on it. And they just filled out the charts and they just loved it. They're just really good at organizing stuff. So if you're a Virgo and you're not organized, get organized. So Virgos are also very anxious. They tend to worry. They have a nervous energy. Virgo and Gemini, they both have that, but Virgo have that anxiety-ness within them. And whenever I see a Virgo sun, moon, or rising feeling kind of anxious, go organize something. Go do a to-do list, go write it down, get an agenda, organize your bedroom, do something to really put all of this energy into order. Virgos must do that. So anyways, back when I was at work and there was this chart that we had to fill out, I was like, I can't do it. The Virgos just loved to do it and they just filled out the chart. And I was like, thank God you guys exist. Imagine a life without Virgos, the world would just be chaos. Virgos really bring order to this life. Each sign has their spot and what they're good at. Aries will start something. Virgos are really good at just making sure everything's done properly and in an organized, fashionable way. So as much as there's many pros to Virgos, which is their soft nature, their modesty, the things they do things properly, responsively, very organized way. One thing is that they're extremely perfectionistic. So if you're a Virgo, you have to be perfectionistic in some way or another. Everything has to be perfect. Just super, super, super perfect. And it's kind of annoying. We all have our pros, we all have our cons. The perfectionism of Virgos is annoying. I remember I have 2 Virgo friends, and both of them are cooking at separate times. And they were like making it, they didn't know it was perfect. They're like, does it need more salt? Does it need more pepper? Is there too much corn? Is there whatever? They're just super, super perfectionistic. And I'm like, yo, it's chill, it's fine, calm down. And that's their anxiety. You know, they have just so much anxiety of everything have to be done perfectly. So all the way that's their con, it's also their pro because they do things perfectly. So after some time, the food that they were making is perfectly seasoned, you know? Virgos, specifically Virgo Risings, are very, very put together. They dress very perfectly. You know, things have to match. You know, things have to go well with another. Things have to fit properly. So that's when I can tell if someone's a Virgo Rising is if they're put together very well. Or Libra Rising too is very put together. But Virgo Risings and Virgo Suns tend to be very, very, very put together and tend to match. They wear softer colors. It's not flashy, not like a Leo Rising or a Sagittarius Rising. They wear very softer colors. If they wear patterns, the patterns must match. They can't wear mixed matty patterns. If they wear jewelry, it kind of has to stay form-fitting. Nothing too flashy, nothing too dangly. It's very put together, Virgo Risings and Virgo Suns. Also with Virgos, more so Virgo Suns, or Virgo Risings or Virgo Moons, if you have Virgo in your charts, these are really more healthy eaters, I say. They're usually more in tune with eating properly because they're so perfectionistic. So they're the ones to count their calories, count their proteins, make sure things are organic. Like what they put into their body, they're a bit more mindful. Virgos, which is really cool. It's a pro. So Virgos, Virgos. I will say a good match for Virgo is Gemini, just because Virgo and Gemini are both nervous. They're both ruled by Mercury. So things like information, facts, ideas, they're really good at bouncing them off of. Like some people don't care about facts, information, numbers, ideas, data. They don't care. Virgo and Gemini tend to get along in that way. I think Virgo is a great match for water signs. So Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Scorpio is a really good match for Virgo, I'd say. Just because Virgo has that softness to them that the water signs usually vibe with them. Pisces, maybe not so much, just because Virgo is so practical, right? Their energy is very on earth sign, and Pisces are very dreamy, out of this world, so there could be a clash there. But definitely Scorpio, definitely Cancer. Virgo is also a great match for its fellow earth signs like Taurus and Capricorn, just because they're also very efficient and hardworking. Just like Virgo, the earth signs really get along well. Beyonce is a Virgo, and she's perfect. Hi, so I'm just editing this video and I forgot to say something. Virgos also really like routine. A, B, C, D. Wake up, work out, eat breakfast. 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, their routine has to be very, very perfect. They don't like chaos or disorder within their routine as well. If you're a Virgo, get a routine going on. I feel like that would benefit you as well. Thank you. Continue to stay organized. A Virgo must stay organized. If a Virgo doesn't have a day planner, a calendar, or to-do list, they must not be a Virgo. So if you're a Virgo, you need to have one of those things. You need to materialize all of your thoughts, not your thoughts, of all the things you need to do. You have to put it on paper. As an earth sign, there has to be like physical, tangible evidence of everything you need to do. So calendars, to-do lists, etc. Because Virgo isn't so much one to attack. They're not very vicious, I'd say. You know, they're not one to lash out in anger like Aries. So I really admire the softness. They have an intellectual mind and a curious mind. So I do feel like when a Virgo is upset, they might use words or wit to attack, but it's never with heat. It's never with, you know, rage, which I really appreciate. I love that about Virgos. So although Virgo, their image is the virgin, right? Just because Virgos do things properly and the virgin doesn't have sex before it gets married. But just because Virgos do things properly does not mean that they're all virgins. Virgos are actually one of the most sexual signs there is. So if you have a lot of Virgo energy, you tend to be a bit more sexy. Yet modest at the same time. They're not flamboyant or colorful with their sexuality, but it's definitely there. Just because Virgos has a curiosity to them, they're curious and analytical with everything, including sex. They'll try things, they want to analyze things, so they're ones to try a bunch of different stuff in the bedroom or sleep with a bunch of different people if needed, just to gather information and analyze how things work. And because there's the practical nature of Virgo being an earth sign, Sex is something that must be done for survival. It's something that must be done as a human. It's practical. It's a practical way of looking at things. So Virgos can be very sexual people just because they have to do it. And then they're curious. They collect data. And Virgos are the most analytical people there is. They're good for correcting things, looking over things, finding error in things or in people. Virgos are really great for that too. Me personally, like I said, I have no Virgo in my chart. Nothing. No Virgo. And then the 6th house is the Virgo house. I also have no planets in that house. I have a bit of most people have a bit of everything, usually. Like, I have a bit of all the signs except Virgo. So, like, organized, data, perfectionism is something I do not have. I have nothing Virgo within me. So I've come to really appreciate the Virgo energy just because it's something I lack. My sister is a Virgo rising, and oh my god, is she so practical and organized, and everything's perfect, and she looks super put together. Some of my really good friends are Virgos just because they're so practical and just so sweet. So thank you so much for watching. Woohoo! All my Virgos, I hope you have a great time this season. It is your time. And if you have a lot of Virgo in your chart, you might expect non-Virgos to come to you often to help them get organized. Just because those people, like me, who isn't organized and who doesn't want to really have their life together, I like to go to Virgos who can help me, right? So yeah, Virgos, at this time, if it's your time, if you're bright and happy, you can offer your gifts to other people. To all the Virgos, I love you so much. You definitely have a place on this earth, a life. A world without Virgo is impossible. We need those practical, organized people here on earth. I love you and take care.